Well, thanks for having us in Wales, having us in Cardiff for this friendly game. Obviously, for us, it's another test to grow our team towards the Asian Cup in January, February. For Wales, it's a couple of days prior to leave for Latvia in the Euro 2024 qualifier. So we're very pleased that we get this opportunity to be here, playing in this beautiful facility. And obviously, we want to do well. We are in a process of testing things out and rejuvenating the team step by step. And we want to play a very good game. We want to win the game. This is normal. It's a competition. But overall, it's exciting to be here.
자, 이어서 우리 손흥민 주장 참석하셨는데요. 내일 경기에 대해서 선수들 어떤 분위기와 준비 내용에 대해서 그리고 내일 경기에 대한 각오 한번 들어보도록 하겠습니다.
일단 감독님 얘기하신 것처럼 카디프에 이렇게 초대해 주시고 또 좋은 훈련장 또 좋은 경기장에서 좋은 팀과 경기할 수 있게 되어서 너무나도 좋은 것 같고 감독님이 얘기하신 것처럼 내일 경기가 저희한테 얼마나 중요한지 알고 또 감독님께서 또 많은 시간과 또 투자를 하신 만큼 꼭 승리로 보답을 해드리고 싶고 선수들도 그런 욕망이 좀 많이 가득한 것 같아요. 좀 저희 실수로 또 내 경기 동안 아직 승리가 없다는 점을 너무나도 잘 알고 있기 때문에 내일 어떤 경기를 의미하는지 선수들이 분위기만 봐도 좀 잘 아는 분위기인 것 같고 또 이런 부분들을 내일 경기장에서 잘 규율 있게 규칙 있게 잘 저희 플랜대로 잘 진행해서 경기를 꼭 승리로 장식하고 싶습니다.
First of all, just like what our coach said, it's a great honor to be here in Cardiff. You guys have provided us with a great facility, the training ground, and to play in the Cardiff City Stadium is a great honor. And regarding the game, just like what coach has said, we're here to play a good game. The coach has put in a lot of time in preparing for the upcoming matches, so it's now down to us players. We really want to play as what coach said, and we want to win the game. And we know the last 4 games that we played under our new coach, we didn't bring the result, and we players do, we know that partially it's also our fault. So we don't want to make the same mistakes. But tomorrow we're gonna get out on the field with discipline and like what the coaches have been telling us, with discipline, go by the game plan, and hopefully, we can take the win in Cardiff.
자, 먼저 우리 코리아 미디어들부터 먼저 좀 질문을 받고 그 다음에 우리 UK 미디어 하겠습니다.
Very good.
So,
Very good. And tomorrow's match is even though the friendly match, but the match will be most winning match because of some circumstances is about you and about the team. So, will you focus on the result or will you focus on the performance? Maybe two sides. You will prep the two sides is better, but if you have focus on one side,
Which one? No, I think for us the important part is to grow and to improve. And I think we did quite well the first 4 games. We didn't get the results, but I was pleased with the way the team, showed up and dominated all 4 games. We didn't score the goals. We didn't have Sonny in the last 2 games, basically because of his injury then, and we didn't have Min Jae either. But for me, it's a huge learning curve. So I want to kind of see the progress happening with every game. I want to win, absolutely, no doubt about it. But the must win comes in Qatar. And I see a team here grow, and we have the captain sitting here that is extremely hungry. It's extremely hungry to do well in Qatar and go for the Asian Cup, which Korea hasn't won since 60 years. So this is the main goal. But still, I want to win.
there is some criticism on the SNS and social media because of the
Yeah, but that is normal. I mean, obviously, you can also win all 4 games in the beginning, and there will be still criticism. Maybe the way you play, maybe the way the team plays, maybe the way you sub, maybe whatever. That is part of your job. I mean, you got to live with criticism every day. Probably 80% of your paycheck is, that everybody's allowed to tell you what to do. But that doesn't bother me at all. It's a wonderful experience so far. And I see a team that brings so much quality step by step. The under-20 just finished in the final four of the World Cup. So you see talent is coming from Korea. You see more and more Korean players coming into Europe to grow, to learn, to establish themselves. I mean, obviously they have their own kind of role models within the team, like Sonny and like Heung-min and like Jae-sung in Germany. And and I always said, that if you want to have a very successful team at the end of the day in a World Cup, in a real World Cup, you need to have your best players play in the best leagues in the world. And this is what we're trying to do. We try to help that they grow in the best leagues in the world, which is the top 5 in Europe. There's no doubt about it. And more and more of the kids follow his path and follow the other's path. And so it's a process. But I'm so far, after a couple of months being in this adventure, I'm very pleased. And I know that, there's social media is extreme in Korea. They tell me a lot. They teach me a lot every day. But I know exactly what we are doing, what we are trying to build. And the real benchmark comes in January once we start the tournament in Qatar.
주장 관련돼서 두 분한테 질문 드리고 싶은데, 일단 대표팀 손흥민 선수한테는 대표팀 주장 경험이 지금 토트넘에서 주장하는 데 얼마나 도움이 되고, 그게 전반적으로 본인이 선수로서의 대표팀과 국가대표팀에서 이 위치, 영향력 이런 거가 한 단계 본인이 생각할 때 발전을 했는지 궁금하고, 감독님한테는 캡틴 손흥민은 어떤 캡틴인지.
So the question comes to both Coach and Sonny regarding the captain armband. So to Sonny, he asked how has being the captain for the national team helped him to be captain for Tottenham Hotspurs, and how has that being a captain has helped him grow up as a player both in the national team and in his team. And to Coach, he asked that what does Captain Sonny mean for him in the team?
I'm starting from the gym. Go ahead.
네, 일단은 분명히 도움이 됐다라고 생각을 하고, 사실 대표팀에서의 주장이라는 건 엄청나게 큰 영광이고, 소속팀에서도 마찬가지지만, 사실 제가 주장직을 잘 하고 있다, 좋아한다라고 얘기하기는 그렇지만, 사실은 어디까지나 말로써 아닌 좀 행동으로서 보여주는 주장이 되고 싶었고, 사실 대표팀에 했을 때부터, 대표팀에 이제 주장을 처음 맡았을 때부터 그런 것들을 가장 먼저 보여주고 싶었어요. 근데 이런 것들이 제가 선수로서 또 사람으로서 성장하는데 분명히 정말 많이 도움이 됐다라고 생각을 하고, 또 이번에 소속팀에서 어떻게 보면 주장을 맡게 되었는데, 이런 경험들 또 부딪혀보고, 사실은 어떻게 보면 맨땅에 헤딩을 하는 경우는 아니잖아요. 그래서 어떻게 보면 대표팀에서 지금 주장을 하고 있던 것들이 또 상당히 많이 도움이 됐고, 또 가장 많이 도움이 됐던 거는 주변에 있는 선수들인 것 같아요. 주변에 있는 선수들, 소속팀에서도 정말 좋은 그룹의 선수들이 옆에서 도와주고 있고, 좋은 선수들이 도와주고 있는 것처럼 대표팀에서도 마찬가지로 옆에서 제가 의지할 수 있는 선수들이 항상 있어서 이런 것들이 분명히 도움이 됐다라고 생각합니다.
Yeah, man, being a captain for the national team and now wearing the captain's armband for my club team, it really has helped. Whether I like it or whether I'm a good captain, it's not down for me to make the judgment, but it has definitely helped. It has definitely helped, and obviously it's a great honor and a great privilege, both for the country and for the club. But for me, being a captain, it's not by words, it's by action. I have to prove it, I have to show to the people and to my teammates and to my team that I can actually be the leader of the team. It's not about speaking, it's actually showing it on the pitch and off the pitch as well. But what's most important is that I have the right players beside me. In the national team, I have a great bunch of lads who's helping me become a good captain, and the same in Tottenham. I have the players around me who help me to become a better person, a better player, and a better captain. And being a captain, I'm growing as a player, but not just as a player, but personally as well. And it's been a great honor and a great period so far, but it's also very important about who I have around me, and it's been great. I had the luck of being around great players both in the national team and at the club team.
Yeah, and for me as a coach, having Sonny obviously as a captain and as kind of my prolonged arm in a certain way is huge. It's huge because I know his background. I followed his career, obviously, I'm a big Spurs fan, as obvious. So that makes me even more proud, that he's now captain of both teams, the Korean national team and Spurs. But it's just for me a pleasure and a joy to see him, kind of how he handles younger players coming in, how he looks after the team, how he makes his own talks with the team, and see that leadership in him. He has that it's a natural leadership that is in him. And it inspires not only the youngsters, it inspires also the more experienced players, because of who he is, what he's done, and what he's still doing. And in a certain way, it's exciting times ahead of him. When I started this adventure and this new chapter in my career, the first thing I told Sonny was, Sonny, look at your career in your club, but especially now. There's an Asian Cup that we haven't won for 60 years. And then there's a World Cup in America, Canada, and Mexico waiting, where I think if this team is growing and this talent is getting better and better, then there is a huge opportunity, for Korea go much, much further than they did in the last World Cups. And this is the goal, and this is why I took this job, is to help them believe step by step to go much further in a World Cup than they did in the last 3-4 World Cups. And have him on the side is just a joy.
Okay.
Sonny, welcome to Wales. Tomorrow you will play against one current teammate and one new teammate. Ben Davies is obviously someone you know very well. How much do you know about Brennan Johnson, and what can Tottenham fans expect from him?
영어로 대답해요? 영어로 대답하면 될까요?
어떻게 해요?
Look, I mean, we should never forget Joe Rodon. So also, he's one of my best friends. So please don't forget his name as well. But look, I mean, Joe and Ben is one of my close friends. So they're helping me really, really lot still in Spurs, and they're helping me settle in London very well. So look, Brandon is another young player. He shows his quality from last year in Forest. So can't wait to see him on my eyes. So he's very, very good player. So for me, I think he has a very good talent. So I mean, Spurs. I mean, welcome to Spurs player. But look, I haven't played with him and I haven't seen him in action. But can't wait to see him tomorrow. Obviously, we're playing against each other, but a few days later we are playing together. So obviously, I can't wait to play with him. So yeah, we'll see what's happened.
And Jurgen, you must be excited to see Brennan at Tottenham, a club you said that you still support. But I have to ask, you're back in Cardiff. Mixed memories of Cardiff. We certainly still have some memories of your time this year back in 1991. What do you remember from that night, and what do you expect from Wales tomorrow?
Oh, I think Ian Rush took my jersey. Just kidding, we swapped jerseys. No, I mean, we have an interesting history, obviously, from a German perspective now with Wales. We had the clash before the World Cup in Italy, where Wales kind of almost kicked us out from the World Cup in the last second of the game, or a couple of minutes before then, Mark Hughes. And then we had some qualifiers, went either side, and it's been always a emotional, traumatic kind of a matchup with Wales. No, I'm pleased to be here. I'm pleased to always, to get the opportunity to see what happens in Europe and in different places, and being here for us it's really nice. We want to grow with our team. This is part of our growth now, these games. And we want to prepare the best way possible for a very different type of a competition, the Asia Cup, in January, February. And obviously, I'm a big follower of the Premier League, of the Championship. I know what's going on. I talk still to a lot of coaches, and I'm always in touch with Spurs, either with him on the players level, or if it's with the officials, or obviously with the coach. So no, it's a nice opportunity. We hope we show you good quality football tomorrow night. I'm actually convinced we will do that. And then let's see, who gets as a better team off the field. But the history between Germany and Wales has always been an exciting one.
Jurgen, if you think that Son and your team can win an Asian Cup, do you think he might win something with Tottenham as well? That's been even longer, isn't it?
Longer than 60 years?
No, maybe.
I mean, this is what you work for, what you look forward for. You know, the opportunity to get trophies, and obviously they have the opportunity to get an FA Cup or even a Premier League. I know, you know, we all know what's happening in the Premier League and how dominant Man City is at the moment and how difficult it is. But if I look at the last year, you know, what Arsenal has done was amazing. But I see a team that is not less quality than Arsenal in their Spurs side. Has a fantastic coach now, a manager that is a good people person, and why not surprising a lot of people this year. His goal, like his entire team's goal, is to win trophies. Yes, you know, and it's been a long time for Spurs, but you know, you start every year with this goal in mind, you know, with this ambition, and that the players and the coach, they have that ambition, and I'm just there as a follower and keep my fingers crossed as one of their biggest fans and hope that it's going to happen. Then obviously on the national team level, it's interesting from an international perspective to see what happened in the World Cup, you know, how the Asian teams did in the World Cup. Almost all of them went in the knockout stage. So there's a huge improvement of quality. So even if you lost the first match of Argentina, ended up in a loss with Saudi Arabia, who we play then in a couple of days as well. You know, Japan did well, beat Germany. You know, have been a lot of surprises, and we continue now to grow, but maybe with more ambition as it was maybe in the past. Say, okay, you know what, we're not just there for getting into the knockout phase. We want to go further, and a bit Morocco showed how you get further in a World Cup. They've done well, and why not us in the next one? That is our goal.
And in terms of the analysis you've done of Wales for this game, have you looked at Brennan Johnson? How do you think he's going to be a threat tomorrow, potentially, and how's he going to fit in to play with Son for Spurs?
I mean, that's Ange's job to make that fit. And I will be on the outside following it and being a fan of it. Obviously, we did our homework too. I mean, we're not underestimating by 1 second this Welsh team. You know, we take them very, very seriously, have a lot of respect for them. And then we will try to play the game to our strength. And we have a couple of very, very talented players with us. You know, we have to grow as a team. We have to do certain things a bit better than we did in the previous 4 games. But this growth is important, step by step, towards January, then when we go to Qatar for the Asian Cup.
Hi there. Question to you both, if I may. I'll Jurgen, one to you and then one to Sonny, if I may. The first one is about Ange Postecoglou making Sonny the captain. Sonny's done everything as a player anyway, but how can this take him to the next level as a player by handing him the captaincy? How shrewd a move do you think that's been by Tottenham? And a question for you, Sonny, as well. You know, Harry has gone to Bayern Munich, but there seems to be a real feeling at the stadium with the fans, they're loving the way you're playing, is that almost rather than being sort of mourning the loss of Harry, it's almost like a fresh start with fresh players coming in. I just wonder your thoughts on the start of the season.
Well, maybe Sonny can talk about Harry. It's funny.
Look, I mean, you don't want to let Harry go, obviously, because he's one of the best players in the world. So I have spoke already a few times. When you have a Harry Kane on your team, you have 20, 30 goals on your pocket, surely. So you have this goal guaranteed. But I think the players have told, like, okay, everyone have to take a big step forwards, and to moving this club forwards, I think everyone have to take a big responsibility, because you lost 30 goals, but now everyone had to step up to make these 30 goals all together, you know, so which is very, very important. I think that because when you see the first 4 games that the players are taking a responsibility and showing on the pitch that what quality they have, so which is very important. That's why I say already a few times that because of that, as a captain role makes so easy, because you have amazing players around you, because amazing group of players around you, also players, also human beings, so which is make my job really, really easy. So, look, it's only been 4 games, and we are looking for keep going in a positive way, and with Brandon as well, with the new signing. Obviously, probably you guys want to hear it about him. So I think when he come to the Spurs, obviously he want to improve, he want to go next step. So I think he feel the pressure as well. But I think we can't wait to have our team and playing even better football and better attacking, better fast football. So I think everyone has to take a responsibility, and Harry obviously moved in a good way. So we in a football which is really happen often. So we had to respect in a both way, from the club side, also from the player side. So, and then we wish him the best, and I wish him the best, and I hope he can win everything that what he deserves. So do probably H think about the club. Obviously, he was grow up as from the youth team from the Spurs, so from day one. So probably he wish us also the best. So then we move on.
Jurgen, it's just what the shrewd move from Postecoglou. You were going to do it nationally, but in terms of the move of making Sonny the club captain, how can it make him even better?
Well, being named captain of your club, and such a big club, obviously, as Spurs, is a recognition and an appointment that makes you proud. It makes you understand and his role, that your view changes, in terms of, before maybe you looked a lot at everything in an individual way. How do I do my best for the team to be successful, and in his case score goals and do assists like he did over years and years. The moment you get named captain of such a club, comes the role of being an observant as well. So you look around, you make sure that your teammates are all right, that the younger players get integrated, that you sense, smell if there's going something wrong in the dressing room. You become a part of both sides. You talk to your manager on a consistent basis, and you talk to your players too. So it switches. It's changing. It's a different way of looking at things. But it's also a wonderful moment, because it broadens your vision, and you grow with that, and this is it's exciting, and that's what I hope he will enjoy this role, and obviously I hope for them first and foremost that they are successful as a team and win something at the end of the day, but to be named captain of such a prestigious club is something very special.
Did the time limit to 2 questions from you and you first?
Jurgen, and one person after. The first question for you, Jurgen, is: do you have any problems, having said that your priority is the Asian Cup in January, getting players released, especially for friendly matches like this one? And for Son, how important is this match to you personally? What do you expect to get out of it, both for yourself as a player and also for your team?
Look, I mean, this game means a lot. I mean, every single friendly game, even we are saying, look, Asian Cup is important, but as a player or as a team, I think the friendlies are the most important thing, because you're playing for tournaments to prepare the tournament well, So you're coming from any time from the national team is one of the players' dream to play for. So whenever is it September time, October time, November time, is there friendly or is there any tournament? It is all important for us. Obviously we're playing for win the games and preparing for the tournaments, but it is hugely important and big honor. So we should never underrate this friendly game. Like we never told about this game is going to be not important or whatever. It will be very, very important to get the results and to prepare well for the upcoming tournaments.
No, we had no problems at all getting players released. Obviously we have in the back of our mind also our 24 team going to China and play the Asian Games, which is very important. But that happens after our 2 friendly games now here. From a club side, all the players, no problem. We wished we would have brought with us obviously Kangin Lee, who plays for Paris Saint-Germain, and a very exciting player, but he had a muscle issue and he's step by step getting bad, but we still have the hope that he's going with the under-24s to China.
This is the vote in different ways. So you've got your goal scoring touch back again with 3 goals. But how do you get to that point? So when you aren't scoring goals, how do you work to refine that touch? And to Jurgen as well, as a manager and also as a player, when a player, a key player like your captain, isn't quite in that zone where they're at the best, how do you go about supporting them? Or when you were a player, how did you go about finding that rhythm, that touch again?
Look, for me, it's not obviously it's a striker that you have to score, but football is not about yourself, you know. So football is about team sports. That even with your positioning, you can make different players to scoring goals. You get me, you know, because I think football is sometimes you get spotlight when you're scoring goals. Yeah, which is very important. Which is very, as an attacking player, it is very important to get your confidence as well. But I mean, I'm always thinking about this team sports, you know, like before I go to the game, I'm always thinking, where I can help the team in a different aspect, you know. Even when I don't score, you know, I can create the chances. And then look, sometimes the goals sometimes coming in a row, you know, like in 2 games, 3 games, 4 games in a row, that the chances, you know, obviously you have to own it, you have to get it, the chances. But some games you feel like, oh wow, the chance doesn't come, you know, even when you're right position, the ball just bounce back and then going away, you know. But I mean, I'm never rushing when I'm not scoring for few games, because if I'm not stepping up, I have 10 players behind me that who can someone step up and then help the team, you know. This why we love that's why we love football, you know, who can score some, and we celebrate together like us score, you know, so which is very important. So look, I mean, it was very, very good to get a score sheet before I come to the national team, which is could help for the club and for the national team as well. But I think the goal is coming always when you're ready. So I'm always calm, try to wait my chances. If the chance comes, try to be clinical as possible.
You would just relax and knew that, like you said, if you didn't score, you would make chances for your teammates.
Yeah, I mean, because if I keep working hard for the team, the chance will be coming, you know. Because you know, when you're like, I'm not the type of guy that if I don't score a few games, like I'm like I get stressed about it, you know. Then the chance goes away from me, you know. Like I feel like that, because then when you're working for team, you give everything for the team, and then the players know, okay, this guy is working for team, and the chance will certainly appeal, you know, for in front of my foot. So this is how it works, because I'm playing in the professional team in I don't know, maybe over 10 years. So I know how I do it, and I experience it myself, you know. This is very important for thinking about only team, and then the individual stuff, the chance, the goal, the assist will come automatically.
It's wonderful to hear, because I would never have had that patience basically. If I wouldn't have scored for 3-4 games, you know, don't even get close to me. No, I love what he says and how he kind of looks at things. Obviously, an attacking player lives also off goals. You know, it's his food. It's food for life, you know, for us. You know, so if you have this approach, it's fantastic. You know, and when I see players maybe having, you know, this, like I was, a bit more being impatient, getting step by step more aggressive, and so on, then I just tell them basically, listen, just keep on working. It will come. It will come, that moment. The ball drops suddenly in front of you. You put it in, and it all runs again smoothly. But you know, it's just stay on track. As physical the game developed, and you know, it became a lot faster than it was 20, 30 years ago. A lot more data driven. Now we know everything about every single player, blah blah blah. You know, the real spice of the game is goals, you know, and when you get that opportunity to play up front and you score your goals, this is a sensational feeling, and you want to have that feeling every week if possible. But when it doesn't come, then just keep staying on track. And we have, besides Sonny, obviously some young strikers in our squad that you hopefully get to see tomorrow night. One plays up at Celtic, you know, one that just came over now, plays in Denmark for Midtjylland. The other, you know, we just went at the last moment now from Forest to Norwich. Very talented boys, and that's something now. The learning curve for them is, okay, even if I don't score a goal for a while, because maybe I don't get the minutes that I hope for to get, you know, I gotta stay on track. I gotta be ready and not losing my confidence, and just keep the head high. And this is yeah, it's the mental side of the game for strikers.
It speaks to Son's maturity that
Yep.
you discovered this, and you mentioned you would get frustrated. When did you discover that sort of side, when you knew to just let it sort of flow? Was that as a manager or later years as a player?
The let it flow part,
As in if you-
still not in me. No, I think, you know, and nowadays the roles got a little bit differently defined. You know, a lot of teams play with one number 9. You know, my days, you know, when I played for Spurs, I had Teddy Sheringham. We shared kind of the amount of goals, you know, and so it was a little bit different to play. But I think also every person is different. You know, every character is different, and every character deals differently with the pressure, with if being upset if you don't score for a couple of goals, and so on. Every one of them needs a different way of communication. You know, some need a hug and some need maybe a kick in the backside, and so on. So that's what you develop later on as a manager. You know, you learn how to kind of communicate with different characters. As a player, you're very focused on yourself, and hopefully I do my job for the team, and also hopefully, you know, I prove to everybody that I'm worth it to play up front and to be that number 9 at the end of the day. Now, as I described before, being captain is another dimension now, you know, because you have to do both. You know, you have to look at your own performance and bring your own performances on board, but at the same time you have to look around and make sure that everything runs smoothly within the team. So he's now in that maturing kind of part of his career where he's quite a bit on his shoulders, but it seems like he's really relaxed with it. Thank you, guys. Okay.
Thank you.
See you outside.
Thank you.